What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today we're going to talk a little bit about the tight ends, right? This is a conversation that continues to go on through Colts Nation, through Colts Twitter, right? We talked about Tyler Warren and going after him in the draft next season. But for right now, want to talk a little bit about something I saw. I saw Nate Atkins with the Indy Star. He put an article out. And I thought it was interesting going through. I saw some interesting things, different quotes, different sorts of stats that I'd seen that I hadn't seen before. Really gives you perspective on where we are at the tight end position and why it's so painfully obvious that we have to go get and just change the room. We have to be able to change the room in some way and stop hoping that one of these guys is just going to magically step up and be a superstar. Just know that in the description there's a link for Green Gridiron where you can get mini helmets or authentic NFL helmets, okay? And make sure to use the discount code INDSYN at checkout and use that referral code down in the description so that they know I sent you, okay? So again, go to the description. Holiday season coming up. Mini helmets, mini helmet accessories, helmets, helmet accessories, whatever the case may be. You want it for you, your man cave, a loved one, whatever the case is. Mini helmets and authentic NFL helmets can be found on Green Gridiron. The link in the description. Again, that is code INDSYN for the discount code. I appreciate you stopping by. And now let's get into the video. Okay, and the first thing I saw that really made me want to do this video was this stat right here. It says that through 13 games, Colts tight ends combined for 30 total catches, led by Mo Alley-Cox's 11. Now that number, 30, that trails 28 different tight ends across the NFL. Tight ends by themselves, not other tight end rooms, other tight ends, single tight ends. 28 of them have more catches than our entire tight end room throughout the entire season. Now, of course, part of that is opportunity, right? You got to think about, early on in the season, Anthony not completing a whole bunch of passes. He wasn't throwing a whole bunch of passes in every game. So the opportunities weren't there for everybody, right? And then you have all the receivers that we have. You have Jonathan Taylor getting carries in the backfield, the occasional run, which Anthony has done more of since he came back, but, wasn't running a whole lot at the beginning of the season. So even with that, like I said, the opportunities really just weren't there for the receivers, for the tight ends. So there's that little bit of leeway that I give the tight ends. It's not all on them. And there is a fair point made in all this where the tight ends in this offense, right, the tight ends have a big role in terms of blocking, right, where the value comes for Mo Alley-Cox and Ogletree because they're such good blockers, right, whereas we have no tight ends that can really help in the pass. And even though this particular offense, it might not be an offense that's predicated around, hey, we need a tight end to be able to go to in crunch time, right? I think in this offense, I think check downs to, the slot position or, quick RPOs to one of the outside guys coming on a slant or a screen pass to the running back, whatever it may be, that's what this offense is more predicated around. But I think when you look at it, you think about how an offense can operate and just giving a safety valve to a young quarterback and one that he's going to be able to trust on a consistent basis. And I think that's just a good idea. And getting somebody that would get out there and be able to be more of a threat in the pass game is just going to help the offense as a whole, right? I think that's common sense. You have all the receivers that you have. You get a tight end out there with Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson in the backfield, like all of a sudden, like then the defense actually has to worry about the entire field. They have to worry about every part of the passing game, every part of the run game. It would just adding a tight end to this offense, a dynamic star tight end to this offense would just make us and take us to a different level, in my opinion. With the development of Anthony Richardson looking the way it does, I think we'd be in a really good spot if we were to go ahead and bring in a tight end. And again, if you draft Tyler Warren, yeah, he might not be a star right away, but I mean, at the most, I guess Sam Laporta went on and had one of the best, if not the best, rookie tight end season of all time before Brock Bowers this season, but like having a Sam Laporta type year. And I think with what we're seeing from tight ends, right, the tight end record for number of catches continues to get broken year after year, and I think Tyler Warren coming in could be a guy that could do that in this offense. Now, again, opportunities. What is the opportunity going to be for any tight end we get, because we have so many weapons on this team as it stands? While I have your attention, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button, and of course, be subscribed and have notifications turned on. When you look at the channel, the amount of people that come here, 52.6% of the people that have watched content on this channel over the last month are not subscribed. And just to go deeper into those numbers, of the almost 14,000 views on this channel in the past month, 66.8% of those views come from people that are not subscribed to the channel. If you're one of those people, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Again, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button. Now, let's get back to the video. Bringing one of these guys in, bringing somebody in, right? You got to change up the tight end room in some way and make it better. Like what we roll out isn't good enough. And it's nice to have the blockers. Like you still have Ogletree under contract, which is great. And I think using him as your main blocker going forward could be an idea. Hey, maybe we keep Mo Cox here for the remainder of his career, right? And he just keeps taking, lower salaries for tight ends, and especially veteran tight ends. He might just take a lower salary, knowing his role as primarily a blocking tight end. But he is our leading receiver at tight end this year with 11 catches. And I believe has over 100 yards, but none of our tight ends have 150 yards. So the ceiling very low for our current tight end room. And then you have a quote here from Kylen Granson, and it says, quote, "I feel like we do what we can," and then goes on to say, "When we're needed, we're there." And that's just, it's so basic, something so small, something so quick, but it's just like a mindset thing. It's like, feel like we do what we can. Well, I mean, look at the production of the tight end room. Look at the consistency of the tight end room. Yeah, you guys are asked to block a lot, but like, how many passes do you guys drop? How often do you guys not get open? Right? Like that's the real question. I'm not sitting here saying I've gone back and watched through every snap of the Colts, and that there are probably times that they've been open and haven't been hit. Right? There are times Anthony Richardson has missed passes. Right? I'm not saying it's, again, not all on the tight ends, but again, it's the consistency from the tight end room, and what comes out of the tight end room for years. Like we've had the same guys for years, and it's the same thing year after year after year, right? And even Ballard knew coming into the year. He said, and this is exact quote: "Do we have a superstar in the group? Probably not." That was exactly what Chris Ballard said. Okay, and he did believe, yeah, we have really good players, and I think we have good players in the room. But again, like this day and age, you look at the teams that go. The teams that go have a really good star tight end, somebody that can get the ball and be able to, make a guy miss or break a tackle real quick and then make a play with the ball in his hands. Like an effective tight end goes such a long way in the NFL, especially when you get into these winter months. You have to start winning outside in the cold. You want to have that run game, good offensive line, good tight end. Those are the guys that you really depend on when it matters most, which is why I feel like the Chiefs have such success. The Eagles are able to have such success because, they've always had good tight ends over there, good offensive line, right? You think about that, and of course the run game in these winter months. Like that's what really matters, and that's what gets teams to go. At the end of the day, building in the trenches makes you great, and we've built like and the funny thing is, like, the tight ends, especially in our offense, with as much as they block, it's like they're not counted as in the trenches, but like they block so much. They are in the trenches. They're not offensive linemen, but when you talk about building the trenches, the tight end needs to be included in that. And that's one area Ballard has just left out, right? He's done it. He builds the offensive line, defensive line. He believes in that philosophy, but he doesn't include the tight ends in that and with that. And he's tried. I'm not sitting here saying he hasn't tried, and we've talked about it, right? I defended the Kylen Gransons of the world for a long time. I had a lot of faith that Kylen Granson could be a mismatch nightmare, and these quarterbacks we were getting, they'd come in and we'd finally be able to see the talent of Kylen Granson. That just hasn't happened. Maybe Drew Ogletree. Jelani's been hurt, and will that continue, right? It's tough. He's young with hamstring injuries that are keeping him out all year. Like, if those hamstrings are already destroyed, Jelani's cooked. So, what are we going to get from the tight end room? What can Will Mallory be? Seems like he doesn't really get involved, but I think he probably has the highest ceiling of all the tight ends that we currently have on the roster. So I think going into a year where you have Ogletree as a blocker, where you have Will Mallory, you go out, you draft Tyler Warren, and maybe Mo Alley Cox is another tight end that you keep and have him as a fourth tight end, and that's the other blocking tight end, dependable veteran, locker room guy, been here forever, keep him here his whole career. I could see that. Those are the four tight ends we go into next season with. I think I'd be happy with that. And of course, I want to know what your guys' opinion is of this whole conversation throughout all the different tight ends, right? And talking about, again, Jelani, we just haven't been able to see Jelani, and hopefully he's going to be able to come back and be something for us. But I mean, just so much disappointment in this tight end room through the years, and with Anthony Richardson getting better and the tight ends not excelling with it, like the receivers numbers are getting better right now. Tight ends, not so much, which is quite disappointing as a Colts fan for what we expected from this room. So you let me know your opinion down in the comment section. Love to hear from you guys. And of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you get notified anytime we drop any more content on this channel, or it'll go live on Sundays for the game. And of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.